Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings about burnout recovery because we all work so hard and and it gets to a point where if we aren't giving ourselves the rest we need, then the rest is going to take us. So this is important. So we have 4 cards. We have the 10 of Swords from 4 different decks. We have card number 1, the 10 of Swords from the Lapis Tarot. Card number 2, the 10 of Swords from the smith-waite Tarot. We have the 10 of Swords from the Aquarian Tarot, and we have the 10 of Swords from the Steampunk Tarot. Feel into the cards, one or more of these. We'll have a message for you about how to recover from whatever burnout you may be facing at this point. I'm using the Rose Quartz runes for this, the Elder Futhark on Rose Quartz, because we need to take care of ourselves. So feel into the cards. I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello, card number 1, people. So let's turn this card. I don't even have to turn it because it's already up, from the Lapis Tarot. So 10 of Swords, exhaustion, burnout, and also how do we recover from that? So let's get some runes from the Rose Quartz runes. Elder Futhark on Rose Quartz. How do we recover from burnout? I mean, obviously do the obvious things. Tap into the things that always energize you, and take care of yourself. Allow yourself rest. Allow yourself time. Allow yourself non-productive time. Don't forget to sleep. Don't forget to eat. Don't forget to stay hydrated. The usual stuff. However, this is going to give you some other tips from the runes. I'm going to put that right on the leaf. Leaf's just sitting there. All right. Alrighty. So your central issue, card number 1, people, just check a thing, is Kaunas. Kaunas is the rune of the torch or the fire. And this has to do with expansion and opening out. The suggestion is basically we want to expand our focus. I think one of the reasons that you're having burnout is that you have been focused very, very, very hard on one thing, and this can lead to stagnation, where you actually start, it's like saying a word a whole bunch of times and then it loses its meaning. So you just, it's like you're doing the same thing and then you don't even remember doing it. Like you don't even remember that the details of doing it, and it's just basically a blur. Leading up to this, we have Avaz reversed. Avaz is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and also spirit. So your spirit's not been in this. You just feel like you're not moving forward at all leading up to this. You just feel like you're just kicking in the air and you're not getting anywhere. And also you feel like your spirit has left the building. So focus now is on expanding your focus. Expanding focus. Basically opening out and seeing what else there is or what more there is. Because maybe part of what's been a problem for you is that you're only seeing your part of it. It's like, in the old factories before robots, where we'd get one person who would basically be tightening a nut for like ever. Like it just, that's their whole day. And if they don't know what that's for, then it's just basically tightening a nut forever. And that's, and basically maybe if we give ourselves that overview of, oh, wait a minute, if I'm doing this, but it fits into this greater part of the whole, then that's actually a little bit better. But definitely the suggestion and the focus is on expanding your focus from where you are. Now, right away, what's going to help you, and this is exactly what I said when I was giving the basics of how you deal with burnout, is whatever it is that whenever you access it or whenever you do it or whenever you experience it, always energizes you, always nourishes you. Do that. We have Sovilo, which is the rune of the sun. This has to do with source energy. So basically, whatever it is, whether it's listening to music, whether it's creating something, whether it's getting outside in nature, anything that is always something that nourishes you. Maybe even if it's like you like going to a play, go to a play. Find somewhere to do that, even if you have to watch it online. It's something. Look at the things that you love and that give you nourishment and joy and energy, keep that on hand, basically, whatever it is that is for you, your source energy. What isn't going to help is you may feel like you just want to like force your way through, just like muscle through. We have Tivaz, which is the rune of Tyr. Tyr is the rune of, well, Tivaz is the rune of Tyr, and Tyr is the warrior god. But he's basically like the representation of the ideal king. He's the one who takes care of things that need to be taken care of. He's all about balance. He's, driving forward. And, you once you've lost the forward momentum and once you've lost your spirit in a thing, it's really going to be painful if you just try to muscle through. Like if you just try to force yourself, that's not going to help you. And it's just basically not going to, it's not going to get better if you're doing that. So, because look at this, all of these are in tier shape and that's not helping this rabbit. So, if you start to be, I'm just going to make myself do it. It's like, please don't do that. Energize yourself first, at the very least, let yourself rest, and not necessarily, well, maybe rest is one of the things that always does it for you. So do that, but give yourself the things that always energize you and always nourish you. And that will help you with this much more than forcing yourself to keep going. Now, the next step on the path line is Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. It looks like once you start to expand your focus, you're going to have a bit of a breakthrough, which is great. This is also what pins the entire reading, is like this, the illumination, like the full illumination and the thing, you're finally seeing the overview, and it's a clear enough vision that it fills your entire field of vision. So you probably don't even need to expand your focus that much before you start to get this. But once you start, it's just going to all start coming in, and it's going to be very, very exciting for you and very energizing for you. And look at this. This is the sun, and this is the breaking of the day. So it's the sun and the dawn. So it's a combination of opening out your focus and also doing the things and accessing the things that energize you and give you nourishment. So that's definitely going to help to get you to the point where things are exciting for you again. You are having a breakthrough. You are having, this great overview of things, and it's making things exciting again, and it's enlivening you again. It's really exciting. So it's like the light and color has come back to your world kind of thing, and the air and all the good stuff is coming back in, but just because you've expanded your focus a little bit, and also on the side, given yourself what you need to stay energized and stay nourished. What is going to help you is just to be open to what all is coming in. We have the blank rune, which of course, recent edition. There's no blank rune in the actual Elder Futhark, but it's useful. Basically just to be open to what's coming in for you, because that's going to re-energize what you do. Also, there's always a read on the blank rune of connecting to the divine, whatever the divine is for you. So there may be that as well, that element of, the more you open out and the more you expand and the more you give yourself a bigger focus, that's where you're going to start to connect with whatever the divine is for you. Mostly, though, I'm seeing this as just being open to what all's coming in, because as soon as you start to tap that, it's going to just start flowing in and filling your whole field of vision, and it's going to be very exciting. What isn't going to help you in that step? We have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This is agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. It's always an exchange. This basically carries forward from this. It's like this didn't help you because you needed to energize before you continued, and this is basically your feeling of obligations that you needed to do. And right now you have to just basically get yourself back where you can do them. But, so it's like you're sort of forcing yourself to do it before you're ready. And right now this isn't going to help you. So it's like, okay, now I have a tiny bit more energy. I'm going to just no, you have to continue with this. You have to rebuild yourself and heal yourself. Turn these into energy, like lightning rods. Turn these into something that's going to energize you instead of the energy having been sucked out of you. So yes, definitely be open to the things that are coming in as your vision has expanded. And that's going to help you definitely re-energize. Your next step on the path line, we have Ansuz, which is the rune of communication and manifestation. Definitely once you start to get full enough where you're actually starting to get that little bit of saturation, that's when you can start to express again. Just sort of start to express. And one of the things that's going to happen is because this is going to be new stuff coming into you and new stuff that you're going to be expressing, which is really exciting. It's like if you're a writer and you haven't been reading for a really long time and your word stores run out. So you have to read so that your word stores replenish. And then when you start writing again, it's like, oh my gosh, I have words again. So similar sort of thing to that. So as soon as you've taken this time to just open out your focus and then it just starts to flow in, now you can start to express again. Now you can start to manifest again. And the things are there for you to manifest with. Immediately when you do that, what's going to help you is we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. You're going to be seeing the fruits of your labors immediately. Like this, you will see that this, if any part of you thought that you were neglecting obligations or, not doing your duty, by taking this time to expand your focus and to let the inflow flow in, here's your proof that you were doing the right thing, because you are getting the fruits of your labors from doing this as soon as you get to this point where you've absorbed a whole bunch of things that are coming in that are new, and then you start to express them, and like you're seeing the difference. You're seeing the fruits of your labors. You're feeling more in the present moment, and you're feeling very much more abundant. So this is very, very good, and this is going to help you just noticing that. What isn't going to help you is we have Vunyo. Vunyo is the rune of joy. I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, you're worried about it. You're worried about, but am I happy? That whole thing about, I did all of this, but am I happy, or am I going to be happy? The other way I'm going to say this is like, okay, fine, I'm happy now, but it's just going to get bad again, and then it's going to be painful again. It's like, you know what? Let's deal with that when we get to that. And by the way, we know how to deal with that because we've just done it. So if you start to worry about that, bring yourself back up to just recognizing the fruits of your labors that you're seeing. Like the fact that right now you are expressing again, and you are able to communicate and manifest once more after doing this. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Berkana reversed. Berkana reversed Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. It's the rune of beginnings and birth. Reversed, I see this as inner. So it's sort of, you're having an inner rebirth at this point because of all of this that you've done. It's great. It's like really, really good. So you're basically becoming somebody new in a good way, who is you're still you, but you're you with more than you were before, because you allowed yourself to open out your focus and not be focused on the 111 thing that you had that just wore itself out, and you with it. So now you have so much more that is, that as soon as you expand your focus, that's going to come in, and it's going to make you more rich, and what you do more rich, and what you express more rich, and you're going to feel a lot better and a lot more abundant. So that, card number 1, people, is your reading for Burnout Recovery. I wish you all the best for this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2, people. So this is the 10 of Swords from the Smith-Waite Tarot. Let's just move that over here, and let's get started on your Burnout Recovery. Let's see what the runes suggest for that. Aha, yes. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to read them. I'm just going to lay them out first. How are you? Besides dealing with this at some point in your life. Yes, definitely. Very cool. Oh, I do like that. Ooh, two came out for the end. Okay, okay. That's nice. That's good. Let's do that. So, card number 2, people, your central issue is Uruz. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health and stubbornness, in that it's like digging in and resisting. And that's kind of where you've been at. That's sort of where you're starting from here. You're just, you're very, very strong, and you just like dig in, and you just, you face into the storm, and that's how you're going to do that. But the problem is, it's been really hard, and you're coming from a place of like just things are just stuck and frozen. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice. So we're basically, you've been in that situation where things have just like not been moving forward, and it's like the whole immovable object and irresistible force thing. This is like the immovable object versus the immovable object. Neither one of you is moving. So, so whatever has caused this sense of burnout, it's basically you're standing against it. You're standing against this storm, but instead of a storm, it's like you're standing against the ice, and you're just basically like that. So, but you are inherently strong. You've got that for you. That's definitely a thing, but it's just exhausting. So something has to change in order for the situation to change, is what basically the situation is, because you've got solid meets solid, and neither one of them is moving. So what's going to help you is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is the rune of Ing. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. And I usually read this as active creation, but I'm also going to read this as with a little bit of the ear read from the Elder Futhark, which is thinking about perpetuity, thinking about continuance, thinking about thinking into the future. What kind of future you would like, and let that help to move things forward. But the other thing that, once again, I read this as active creation, so, it's not going to do anything. It's up to you to do something. Like that situation that you're basically butting heads with, that's not going to change. So you have to change something. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to change you, but you do have to change what you're doing, or add to it, or make it more, or just bring an element of the future to it. So definitely you're going to want to start to think about what you do want, and even just like do something a little bit differently from what you were doing before, but just basically things that are already in your hands, because this is basically working with what you have to do something, to create around you what you need, or to control what you can. And so you have that. Whatever the situation is you're butting heads with doesn't. So that's where you actually do have the advantage, and you're going to be able to use that to move past this moment of just things aren't moving. What isn't going to help is we have Laguz, which is the rune of water. Now, this is interesting. This is the same thing that we were just saying about how, you have the ability to see it, to plan for the future. You have the ability to take steps towards a future that you would like. You have the ability to work with what you have to create something new, that kind of thing. And this is something that this doesn't have, but it's like you're waiting for it to do that, and it doesn't. It's not going to, because this is ice and this is the water flow. So it's like you've been holding out for that. You've been waiting for that to change. That isn't going to change. It's in your hands to do what you need to do to move yourself forward in this situation. It's just going to exhaust you otherwise. So if you start to feel like, no, I'm just going to keep waiting, it's like, how long have you been waiting? If it's not happened now, it's like if it's not happened up until this point, it's not likely to. And basically, it's in your hands to do something different that's going to shift things and move things forward. So what's your next step? Your next step, and what pins the entire reading, is Nauthiz. Nauthiz is the rune of need. It's not reversed or anything. It just means tend your needs. So just basically, you are going to be, again, it's in your hands. Take care of what needs to get taken care of. Take care of the needs in your life, basically. Nobody else is going to do this for you, as far as this certainly isn't going to do this for you. So you are now in the position to do that. So once you start to move and you realize it was in my hands all along to do this, that we can move forward because I am moving myself forward regardless of what this thing wants to do, then you start to look around and say, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to take care of? What needs do I have that I need to take care of? And that's like the main thing that's going to help with this. What's going to help with that moment is we have Dagaz, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. It's breakthrough. It's the dawn. It's full illumination. It's something that fills your entire field of vision. It's like enlightenment, revelations. So it's basically, as soon as you've started to do this, you realize this was in your hands, and you're like, okay, now we're going to move, because I am going to move us. And this was a great breakthrough for you. This was a great revelation. So just that's what keeps you doing the things that you're taking care of around you. Like, you're looking around and going, okay, I'm going to take care of my needs. I'm going to take care of the needs that I see around me, because it's for me to do. And that thing that I was butting heads with certainly was never going to do it. So it's now me, and I'm doing this. And the fact that this revelation is still very fresh in your mind is definitely going to help you with that, because the more you do that, the more you're going to see things moving. What isn't going to help is, again, feelings of powerlessness, feeling of these are things that are out of my control. All of this time, I was waiting for this and I couldn't make anything happen with it. Like, I couldn't will it to do a thing that it wasn't going to do. And so this is Hagalaz, this throne of the hailstorm. It's chaos and things that are out of your control. So you kind of feel like, there's still a part, because you were waiting for a really long time, and that's how you got burned out, is this feeling of, I don't have any control in this situation. I can't move forward because it's not moving forward. But you do. You just realized that you did. You just started and it actually moved for the first time in a long time, if ever. So if you start to fall back into that habit of, I can't do anything, this is out of my control, bring yourself back up to, it's like, no, what, all I did was just a little thing, moving myself forward, and it moved. So I'm going to keep doing the things that I have control over doing, because that's moving things forward, and it feels great, and it's like the sunlight coming in again, if you like sunlight. So who doesn't like sunlight? Well, people, like, if it's hot, I'm not very fond, but anyway, you know what I mean. The breakthrough is going to bring you forward on this. Your next step on the path line, we have Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. It is reversed on the path line, which refers to inner. So doing this is going to teach you a lot about yourself. You're going to have a lot of things revealed to you about yourself that maybe you didn't know before, but they were always there. And that's very exciting. So you're really learning about yourself through this process. You're becoming more aware of who you are, and you're becoming more whole as a person, which is going to help you resist burnout in the future, because you're going to have more to draw on. What is going to help you with that is really give yourself focus. We have Kaunaz reversed. Kaunaz is the rune of the torch or the fire. When it's upright, it's about expansion and opening out. When it's reversed, it's sort of like giving focus within, which is how you're learning about yourself. So that's another read on it, where you're turning your focus within so that you can learn about who you are through this process. But the other thing it's saying is give focus to what you need to focus on, because just basically blunt force trying to push against a thing wasn't working for you, and now giving focus to all the things that need your assistance and your focus is what's helping you. But yeah, so both of those things as a read on Kaunaz, because definitely looking inward and turning your focus, expanding your focus inward is definitely going to help you while you're learning about who you are. And these elements of yourself that you didn't realize were there, but that were always there, what you always had access to. What isn't going to help you is we have Ivaz. Ivaz is the rune of the yew tree. This has to do with patience, slow growth, slow development, step by step. And it's a process. It's a long process, and it's in your hands now. So it is, I don't think you're going to feel burned out anymore at that point, but you're still going to feel like it's a slog. Like you will feel some resentment that the thing that you were pushing against isn't doing these things for you, which you kind of had hoped it would. So it's a slog that you didn't expect to have to do yourself, but it's empowering because you are doing it yourself and you're able to do things and move things forward, and that's a good thing. So try not to worry about that. If the resentment starts to come up, I know you can't avoid that, and definitely acknowledge it. Definitely do acknowledge it if it comes up, but don't let it drag you down to a point where, like, don't identify with it so much. Like, just like, okay, I acknowledge and I recognize that I am feeling resentment about this. However, I have in my hands everything I need to move forward on this. So I am going to do that, and I'm going to give focus to that. And the more I give focus to that, the more I'm going to realize more about myself. Your next step and the last rune, well, normally the last rune, but we've got a bonus in this spread, is Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland reversed. It I usually read with 3 readings specifically. It can mean lots of things, but these are the 3 things I always give it as reversed. First of all, finding home within. Second of all, letting go of things that no longer serve you, like pushing against something that isn't moving. And 3, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And those are the things that you are doing, right? Absolutely doing, coming out of this, is that you're just basically shrugging off this focus that you used to have on pushing against this thing that was never going to move. And it's also about, stepping into a new comfort zone stepping out of the comfort zone that you had where you were expecting something and you're not anymore because you're doing the thing. And then, of course, finding home within. So you're creating a new comfort zone for yourself where it's like, no, my comfort zone is I have in my hands what I need to do what I need to do. And ultimately, here's your bonus, which is why I'm very happy about it, is Yira, which is the rune of the harvest and time. You're definitely going to have the fruits of your labors very, very visible, and you're going to feel much more abundant and in a much better time of plenty than you have in years. So that, card number 2, people, is your Burnout recovery reading. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye! Hello, card number 3, people. So this is the card that is the 10 of Swords from the Aquarian Tarot. Let's move this over here, and let's get some runes out from the Elder Futhark on Rose Quartz, because we need to take care of ourselves to get ourselves out of this state of burnout. So, get this. Ooh, nice. La 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 la. I am going to read these. I'm going to lay out the thing first. I'm on holiday right now. That's quite exciting for me. It's like, speaking of which, this is one of the reasons that I'm doing this, because I had a dream about that. And then I'm like, well, that's because I was really tired from work. But now I'm on holiday, so I'm actually doing what I need to do to get out of that. So I'm sharing this with you. So, central issue for the Burnout recovery, for card number 3, people. We have Kauna reversed. Kauna is the rune of the torch or the fire. When it's upright, it has to do with expansion and opening out. When it's reversed, it has to do with focus, honing your focus. So I think that's probably, you maybe were doing that, but you are doing it now. Like, I think that's one of the things, like you've turned your focus within, you're expanding your focus within to try to find a way to restore yourself. And also, you're honing your focus on the outside, where you're actually focusing on moving forward. Leading up to this, we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. This is basically where the burnout happened. Things were not moving forward. You didn't have any feeling about things that you were doing. You just felt stuck. And so now you're in a situation of, okay, so that happened, and now I need to get out of this. So let's find one little thing, at least one little thing that I can focus on that's going to help carry me out of this. What's going to help you with that is we have Avaz. Avaz is the rune of the horse. This is movement and also spirit. So let your spirit carry you, basically, whatever spirit is for you. In the old days, somebody could go into a tavern and get completely drunk, and they wouldn't be able to walk, and they'd go outside and they'd throw themselves on their horse, and their horse would walk them home. That's sort of what this is. So first of all, keep moving forward. That's definitely a given with Avaz. Avaz is whatever it is that you're trying to focus on to get yourself out of this. Don't stop. Keep moving forward. Let yourself keep moving forward out of this. Use this focus as the rope that you're going to pull yourself out with. However, also throw yourself on the back of whatever spirit is for you and let spirit carry you out, because that's going to help you also. That's just basically because it's like when you're not well, and it's not like a super, super serious thing, but you just feel crappy. And then you just basically okay, I know that if I give my body rest and I let my body rest, it's going to get better. It's going to get me out of this. So you just have to let it carry you out of it. Just give it the rest it needs. And you know that eventually you're going to wake up and you're going to be okay, I'm better. I can get up. I can do things. That's sort of a bunch of things that mean the same thing. So again, keep moving forward, but also let whatever spirit is for you carry you forward, because that's going to get you out of it as well. What isn't going to help is we have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. You did feel sort of overthrown, a bit unseated, a bit like the rug was pulled out from under you. You're feeling like maybe I'm not as strong as I would like to be. And also feeling like you had no way to resist it. Uruz, the wild ox, has to do with strength and health and resistance, basically. And where you felt like you had no way to resist this, and you feel like you're maybe not as strong as you would like, or you felt like that. And that's worrying for you. But this is why you're letting yourself focus on that one little thing that is going to help you not think about the things that made you stuck, but just like that's going to just help you help carry you forward and let whatever spirit is for you carry you forward. Your next step on the path line, and what is pinning the entire reading, is not Uruz, it's Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. Wealth in Fehu isn't yet gold. It kind of is, but it isn't, because it's cattle. So it's the wealth that you tend. Whatever it is that when you take care of it, it gives your life richness, it gives your life wealth and worth. So then reversed, it has to do with inner. So it's basically your sense of inner worth, your sense of inner value, your self-esteem, your confidence. And this is, the things that are inward that you are taking care of that will enrich your life on the whole. And that's basically what you're focusing on. It's like, okay, but you know what? I have worth. I am worthy. I'm going to basically focus on that, and that's going to help carry me out of this. What's going to help you? We have the blank rune again. This is the second time I've seen the blank rune in this set of readings, so this is quite neat in this spot, which is to be open. But also, whatever the divine is for you, is like I'm going to do a lot of these, like whatever it is for you. So we have spirit, whatever spirit is for you, and we have the divine, whatever the divine is for you, and to be open to that, to connect to that, something greater. So see, even if you don't have any sort of spiritual connection to anything that's like NOR, this could be like to the universe. Like you could be, I am just as valid as any other living creature in the universe. So that kind of thing. It's like I'm connected to that, and darn it, I'm worth it. So just basically to be open to that and to connect to that, because that's going to help you see this. Like, no, I am of worth. So we're going to go forward from that, and to just seek out what internally gives you that sense. What isn't going to help you is we have Othala. This is the rune of the home or the homeland. It often has to do with comfort zone, and I think that's what it's talking about here. You had this, what you were going along with, and then things got stuck, and you felt like you were overthrown, you felt like you were unseated, you felt like you were made to be weak, to that you couldn't resist. And now you feel like you're out of your comfort zone, because whatever you were doing, you felt much stronger doing, and now you're not doing that. You're looking inward and finding your worth, and this is like completely weird. So, but either way, it's like this sense of, where is my home that I used to be very comfortable with, because everything seems to be upside down now. Yeah, but this is why you're doing this. You're making it so that you can be comfortable with yourself and with how worthy you are of not being burned out, and following your focus and whatever spirit is for you out of this state. So be open to that. Be open to the world and to the universe and to whatever the divine is for you, because that's going to help you re-find your confidence and re-find your self-esteem and move forward. Your next step on the path line, we have Sovila, which is the rune of the sun. This has to do with source energy. So this is where you're actively going to start connecting to the things that always energize you, that always nourish you, that always, let you be who you are in a good way. So, whether this is, creating something, or going out in nature, or listening to music, or, watching a show that you love, something that you love that always, whenever you do it, does energize you, does give you nourishment and joy and happiness, and makes you feel good and like good energy. So that's the source energy, something that does that for you. What's going to help you with that is we have Gabo. Gabo is the rune of the gift. Gift is always an exchange. So it's agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It may be, in some cases, a one-on-one interaction. Maybe there's somebody that you love and trust that you can communicate with about this, and that will help you. But basically, make yourself a plan. Like if you haven't had time to put this in your day, absolutely start making a plan to give yourself time with the things that give you energy, give yourself time with the things that give you nourishment, because that's going to help you a heck of a lot when you're doing this. It's like you will at this point know what you need for this. And so if you're not giving yourself time to access those things, make yourself the time. What isn't going to help is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. I usually read this as active creation. But I'm actually kind of seeing this in the lower line here of the things that aren't helping you, where you felt unseated, where you felt like, where's my home? Where's my comfort zone? There's this sense of, I had plans. Like I had things all in place. I had things the way they needed to be, and I want to force what I have now into that shape, but that's not going to help. You need to make new plans and let these ones, if they're not serving you, be, because the plans that you had led to this. So, because things weren't moving. So, whatever you had before, let the new plans that you're making, and even just like that one-on-one interaction that you may have, let that start to not necessarily overwrite it, but sort of like add to it and make it better, and maybe overwrite it sometimes, because either way, you definitely want to be connecting with what gives you nourishment and energy. Your next step on the pathline and the end of this reading of this particular spread is Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the rune of hailstorm. This has to do with, I often read this as chaos and things that are out of your control. I also see this as weather and also nature. And in a lot of cases, it's your true nature. It's like you're finding your energy. Like this, you've got like the sun and the storm. So it's kind of like, you find your worth. You couldn't move forward. So you started to focus on the one thing that's going to carry you out, at least one thing, at least one. And then you're going to find your worth. You're going to feel like, okay, I do have worth. Here is my worth. And I'm going to start taking care of the thing that makes me feel, the thing or things, the cattle that make me feel like I have worth and richness and wealth in my life internally. That will lead you to the things that you know will always energize you and that you know always nourish you, which will lead you to feeling just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the things that made you stuck in the first place. You're going to feel revived. You're going to feel very energized and like nothing can touch you, which is great. Like you're going to feel like a force of nature, which you are. So that, card number 3, people, is your reading about burnout recovery. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 4, people. So, 10 of Swords from the Steampunk Tarot. He's the only one facing that direction, which is useful with his little briefcase. So I love this deck. Anyway, let's get started with the runes, with the Rose Quartz runes, because we need to take care of ourselves. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? We have seen Kaunaz, I think, in every reading in this set, but I could be wrong. But this is faced upright. Anyway, not going to think too hard about this because I am focusing on your reading. Let's get some runes. Yes, for sure. Oh yeah, and of course, I will read these shortly. It's like seeing the things that tie into each other. Alrighty, very important. So your central issue, card number 4, people, is this straight? This is like very crooked, but it's in keeping with the message. So, central issue for this is Kaunaz, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. It's about expanding focus. It's about opening out your focus. Yeah, I did see this one in an earlier one. Basically, you have it happened also. It's like not like you allowed it, like you wanted to, but it's basically obligations and things that you had agreed to, and you just basically, that wore you out. You sort of, you were very eager about it. Look at your little briefcase and everything, but it's just basically worn you out. Like you had so much on your plate as far as, you got to do these things. You've got your agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. We have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. Gift is always an exchange. So it's agreements, decisions, plans, goals, perhaps a lot of one-on-one interactions. It's worn you right the heck out. And so that's what led to your burnout. So now you're really wanting to expand again. You're really wanting to open out again. But right now it's like this. So what's going to help you with that? we need to do something new. We have Berkana, which is, Kauna's torch fire. I did say that. What's going to help you? We have Berkana. Berkana is the rune of the gift. No, it isn't. That's the rune of the gift. Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. The birch tree has to do with beginnings and birth. Basically, start something completely new, something unrelated entirely to any of these obligations or plans that you had going on. Just basically, we need to have a new dawn here, because the new dawn is going to go through those swords and energize you, whereas what you were doing before that wore you out, maybe you're going to do this just for you. And I'm seeing signs here that there's a lot that's going to be like, you need to spend time, you need to devote as much time for you to keep yourself happy and comfortable as you were devoting to everybody else that you had obligations to. That's really going to be important. So let yourself be born. Let yourself be born into the importance that you have given everybody else up until this point, and start something new. And this new thing that you're starting is going to be for your birth and benefit, for your personal unfurlment. So what isn't going to help you is we have Othala. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. This ties in with your obligations. So this not only was, for some of you, this might be family, but this is also often family. So it's sort of like you within family as far as that. So not to confuse things, this is basically your comfort zone. So your comfort zone was just serve, serve, serve. Do these things that you were doing for other people. People were being happy and it was really, really good, but it was taking from you to the point where you can't even get up anymore. So that comfort zone is something that you're going to need to rethink as a comfort zone. I know it's habit, but you definitely want to, if you're going to expand out of that, part of that is going to be starting to treat yourself as the client. It's like that. Does anybody remember that old commercial, that little heart tugger commercial years and years ago, where this mother was like, "Oh, and I'm meeting with a client," and then her little girl's like, "When can I be a client?" It's like, "Oh." Anyway, but it's like this is you. When can you be the client? Be the client. This is like you be your own new client and take care of yourself, because if you don't do that, then it's going to be this. So that's what's going to help you in that. Next step on the path line, and what's pinning the entire reading, is get your feet under you. Get your hooves under you. We have Uruz, which is the wild ox. This has to do with strength, health, stubbornness, and resistance. You're going to need to stand strong in that storm, basically. So once you start to open out and allow yourself the worth that I don't see Fehu here, but just like allow yourself the worth in your life that you've been giving to other people, and start to take care of yourself, like maybe even baby yourself. This is birth. So start to really take care of yourself and as something absolutely precious, because it is. And get those hooves under you, and then this will give you the strength and the ability to stand up in this. What's going to help you with that is just close the door on the din of the rest of humanity. We have Manas reversed. Manas is the rune of humanity and your part in it. Manas is the rune of humanity and your part in it. Manas reversed is going, thank you very much for your counsel. I am going to close the door now and listen to my own drummer. And you do that. So doing that and allowing yourself to listen to yourself and focus on what you need, because it's that whole, make sure that you've got your own oxygen mask in place before attempting to assist another thing. So you definitely need that. And that's going to help you get your hooves under you and your solid strength under you and your resistance to all the din of humanity going, you ought to do this, you ought to do that. Turn away from that. It's like, doesn't mean that you're abandoning people, but it does mean that you're closing the door so you can breathe. What isn't going to help is you may be tempted, given that this was your comfort zone of helping people all the time. And there's nothing wrong with helping people, goodness gracious, but you do have to take care of yourself. So you may be tempted to try to bargain with this. You may be like, I'm going to see if I can make this work. I'm going to try to add my obligations to the obligations that I have to other people and do them all the same, and what's going to happen is this. What's going to happen is that you're going to end up neglecting yours because there's so many more of everybody else. So right now, to get out of your burnout, you need to be able to give this new you that you're birthing and allowing yourself to take care of as something precious, which you are. You need to basically close the door on the din of humanity that's like, do this, do that. You oughta, you oughtn't to do that, blah, blah, blah. And basically it's like, I'm going to listen to myself right now because I need to know what I need so that I can recover from this, so that I can help you again. And then, you're going to have to know that I'm not going to be as completely giving every single thing of myself to everybody. There's going to be some of that for me, and that's all that there is to it. So yeah, no bargains, just basically I got to do this. I've got to do this. Your next step on the path line, we have Nauthiz reversed. Nauthiz is the rune of need. Nauthiz always means tend your needs, but when it's reversed, it means drop everything. This is an emergency, tend your needs. And absolutely, as you can see, this poor person, it's like this is the picture of an emergency. It's like 911, guy on a roof, 10 swords stuck in him, dropped his briefcase. Can't even reach his briefcase. So yeah, basically that, but it's also inner needs as well. So I'm going to read that to both of those ways. Drop everything and take care of, because once you've gotten to this point where you actually shut the door and then you're listening to yourself and getting your hooves under you, you're going to become very aware of what you need. And then this is where you're going to drop everything and take care of that, because you can't move forward until you do. Because you're going to have needs. You're going to have needs that you've been neglecting. You've been backburnering for the sake of everybody else and all the obligations. It's like you've got to take care of your needs or you won't be able to get up. So there's that. But also inner needs, also like looking inward and saying, these are the needs that I know I have. Blah, blah, blah. These are the needs that I know I have internally. So I'm also going to face those. I'm also going to take those on. What's going to help you is take this on as your personal challenge. It's like what Carolyn Casey calls, my beautiful, dangerous assignment. Well, she talked about that for trauma, but it's still the same sort of thing. It's like, this is yours. This challenge may feel impossible, but it is yours. And embracing that challenge as, it's like, I know that this is not what everybody wants, but this is what I need. And so embracing this challenge to take care of yourself and to make sure that you are giving yourself what you need, to make sure that you are tending to your needs and listening to what you need and allowing yourself the time to take care of that, that's what's going to help you the most. Just embracing that as, with Thurzaz reversed, Thurzaz is the rune of the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It's the challenge. It's always the challenge rune. Reversed, it's an almost impossible challenge. It's also an inner challenge. Reversals generally mean inner as well. So embrace that. This is something that is yours. What isn't going to help is there was that sense. And one of the things that kept you doing this for everybody is just going with the flow. We have Laguz, which is the rune of emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. So it's kind of like to keep everything easy, to keep people from not getting mad at you, to keep from rocking the boat. You just basically kept this flow, and you're tempted to do that because that was part of your comfort zone. But that's not going to help you. Don't just let things slide. Don't just let people use you up and walk all over you. You need to stand up and say, no, you know what? I'm doing this now. I'm taking care of myself now. I'm taking care of the things that I should have taken care of before. And, not like you're blaming people, but, when people feel that they have access to something as an amenity, they're going to get really peevish if they have to not have that. And I've seen people be incredibly unreasonable about that because people will feel that they have access to you as an amenity. They don't see you as a living, feeling human person. They see you as an amenity that they are entitled to. And you need to be able to stand up and put a stop to that and just not allow bargaining for that. Like, not allow that. It's like, that's, I recognize that you appreciate what I give you when I give it to you, but if you want any of that in future, you're going to need to let me take care of myself. So, and even if you have to say no outright, they're going to be mad and they're going to go stomping off and be all annoyed because they didn't get what they wanted. But you know what? You need, it's like wants and needs. So anyway, bring yourself back up to, it's like, this is my challenge. It's mine, and I am doing this, and it is worthy. It's worthy of my time and my life. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Ansu's reversed. Ansu's is the rune of communication and manifestation. I'm going to read this a few ways. First of all, there are going to be some people that are just going to get cut off, in this. Like, you're just going to basically stop opening yourself up to the people who just don't even care and to how much they're using you up. You're just going to you're just going to say, okay, thank you. I'm glad I had the chance to serve you, but I am no longer at this time taking your requests. The other thing this is, you're going to be much more in tune with your own inner voice, which started here. You're going to be started here, but then, more when you finally shut the door and said, okay, I'm going to listen to myself and what I need. And so you're going to be very much more in tune with that. And really just both of those things, basically some of the input, you're just going to just shut off. You're going to be like, no, I'm not connecting with these anymore because they're not good for me. And also I am listening to myself now. I'm listening to when my body says, don't do this, or it's going to be the 10th sword in your arm, and then I'm going to drop my briefcase. So, so there you go. So that's card number 4, people. Your reading for Burnout Recovery. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.